Okay, so we've got a lot to talk about today. Sorry I'm late. For whatever reason, I couldn't get into the region, and I haven't quite debugged why that is yet. Um, but hopefully next time that won't happen again. Okay, so I'm going to jump through some of our updates, and then I will type them out in chat, and then we will go into a Q&A as usual. So some major updates from us is we had some outages and some slowness on deliveries prior to the holidays. If some people here read the Discord, you probably saw some posts about that. And I wanted to set the record straight in a few things. So I believe, let me pull up the exact date and message. Okay, here we go. So back on December 17th, we talked about how we had some outages and some delivery slowness, and in order to get that fixed, you weren't going to be able to see the view count of products on one of the reports. I believe it's the top selling report or top selling products report. There was a times viewed number metric in one of the columns that we were going to say, hey, like this isn't going to be reporting correctly, and we may lose that data permanently. I have good news. It is not lost permanently, and it is working again. And we are not suffering delivery slowness or outages now that we've gotten that fixed and back online. So your reports should all be working correctly now, and the data should be there. Some other stuff I wanted to set the record straight on that I see in the Discord and other various forums was there was some chatter about us adding, I don't know if I want to call them cents, but like a decimal on Linden dollars that was manifesting in some pages, like on the marketplace. I believe on like the cashier page. That wasn't intentional and was removed, so you shouldn't see it anywhere now. And if you do, can you please let me know so we can try tracking that down. Also, another change, we fixed the related items. So there was a situation where the related items weren't displaying correctly on the product page. So this is at the bottom of your product listing page, there should be items that are quote unquote related, and they were kind of like getting cut off and like crunched together, especially if they had longer product titles. So they are now displaying correctly regardless of what size you make your browser window. Yes, they were all smushed on the side. Some other things to talk about. So there is, I want to say it's called the community site. I think it's literally community.secondlife.com. Let me actually double check to make sure I'm correct. Yeah, community.secondlife.com. If you haven't been there today, if you go there now, you'll notice that it looks much different now. We did a site refresh on that where the UI and the way it displays looks a lot different now. So one of the big things that came with was it has dark mode now, which has caused our KB articles to display weird sometimes in certain ways, which we are currently working on getting that resolved. But I am also interested in everybody's feedback on what they think about the new community site. I have been looking at the forums now since that change, and it does look a lot better to me, but interested in everybody else's thoughts or if they see anything that's gone wrong with it. And we have another release. I want to say it's not out yet, but let me actually just double check, because before I got in this meeting, it was very close to being deployed. One second. Okay, so on your dashboard page, so if you're on secondlife.com and you're looking at your dashboard, Huh, why can't I see this? Okay, so it has not been deployed yet. Okay, so what we're doing is on the dashboard, when you're on secondlife.com, we're making some changes to how it looks. So it's going to have a kind of like a site refresh, sort of like the community website had, where it'll have updated logos. The coloring will look different. It'll have dark gutters, things like that. One of the things that we're also planning on doing for that is we're planning on changing the what's next section. I don't know the exact time frame of when that's going to happen, but that is something that is on our roadmap to do eventually. So this is kind of like the first step of us refreshing that page, and then we're going to be moving on to some other things there as well. Okay. Any questions on any of that? Yeah, the what's next tab is pretty outdated. It is something that we're planning on getting updated. So okay, so this is this is on like the sidebar of the accounts page for the Linden home picture. Okay, noted. Oh, something else to mention now that I'm looking at that page. I'm going to check to make sure that this is still accurate. Yeah, it looks like it is. Okay, so on the dashboard, you might have noticed that there is a piece missing. And it's also, let me pull this up real quick. So I'll make sure that I'm calling it the right thing. Yeah, okay. So if you're logging into the SL default viewer, or if you were to, for example, go to this splash, the blog on the side isn't loading correctly. So that's also on the Second Life dashboard as well, and that is something that we're working on fixing. Okay, I was just wondering this as well. The SL map website, what issues were you running into? I was just looking at this, and I feel like I might have been running into the same issue.
Wouldn't that come down to whether or not they're listed in search, Sarah? Yeah, a lot of times land drops off sometimes. I don't know why, but it does. And then you can't find them even in world in places. So I would check if something that you can't find, go to the place in world and see if they're listed in search in their land settings. And that would be why you're not getting them in maps.
The name of the location is WALL Wall. I definitely get different results when using the SL web search and typing in that keyword and then setting it to places.
Can I ask a question about all the work you're doing and why you possibly... Okay, never mind. Luke, ask a question.
Please ask questions, yeah.
So I'm looking into the maps thing, and I'm not entirely certain. Is the short answer. I want to say it could be that searching there is looking at the DG specifically, and not looking like web search would if you were to search up places. But it could also be the parcel explanation. I'll have to find someone who knows more about it. I have a feeling that if you use what is it, like Control M on Firestorm or on the viewer, that you probably might even get a different experience. In fact, yeah, in fact, I'm trying that right now.
Yeah, it's not doing parcels because I just checked in places for like 5 stores that I know and none of them are coming up.
Yeah, these are all different. One of the things I'd like to maybe fix one day. Sassy, I did not actually get a chance to read your email about maps, but I will do that today.
No worries. My question was actually going to be, you're working on what next, and I'm very grateful because I begged for over a year, so yay. But can I ask why, when you're working on something, you don't just slap up a under construction, come back soon splash page instead of extra months of leading people astray?
Yeah, and we could also just take it down for right now.
That's what I mean. Like, put up a splash page that just says under construction, come back soon, we're working on it, kind of thing. And that is so much better than all these new residents going there and being given information that is just so detrimental to their experience here. We're talking about the what next page, if you're talking to me, Callie. Because all of those links are 11 years old. All that information is 11 years old. So if a new resident goes to that page and they start following the things that they're told are the ways to use Second Life, they're led on such a rabbit hole of garbage at this time standards of how things work. You know, how to fix your avatar, how to do all those things. It's 11 years old information. The viewers don't even look the same. So it's just really hard for people. And I'd just rather them get a dead page that says something's coming soon than still continue to send people on the wrong path. You've got those gorillas with hammers. Be a great splash page. Luke owns Primfeed, and yes, we do. Um, the the Project Zero, you mean? Because that's amazing, by the way.
Yeah. What did I
Um,
put in the? Did I put in a code word that we use internally?
you just
Oh
said I'm
yes,
happy
SL
to
viewer
talk
in the
about
WAN.
SL
Yeah.
Viewer. It took my brain a second to translate that into Project Zero. I love it. It's awesome, and you actually named it something decent because you know Bento was ridiculous. Um, but the one thing I find really, really funny with people using it is that the amount of people that use inbuilt AOs because of third party viewers having that option, everybody's duck walking because they can't remember where their AO is. So if that's not an advertisement for needing an inbuilt AO, I don't know what is. It's kind of hilarious.
Good point. Yeah.
Really? Nix, could you not use an alt that doesn't have payment info or anything? Sign in with that?
I've got a question for the group. If you have heard about P0 and you have tried it, Viewer Zero, Project Zero, trying to use all the names that we've been using for it. If I was to remove the time limit, like literally go in right now and I remove the time limit, you could be in as long as you wanted. What would stop you from using it?
What do you mean? Like, what would stop us from using that versus using the
Using the
desktop?
desktop, exactly. Yeah. So like, let's say that there is no 10-minute time limit, and you can just use it as much as you want. Um, what would be a reason why you would still decide to use your desktop version?
Uploads at the moment. You can't upload, right?
Texture upload?
Yeah, and mesh, I guess too. So my usage case will be going forward once it goes live would be to have Sassy Scarborough on my desktop and to have Sassy Resident on the web browser because she's only logged in usually just to check perms or pass something or whatever. So it would potentially lighten the load of having two accounts in because usually I put her in wireframe. Oh, that's the other thing. Yeah, the fact that you can't save chat, but that's why I'd only be using it for an alt anyway.
Persistent chat, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. The idea that I can just, you know, use it on my tablet and not be shackled to the computer if I needed to do something. Like I can't wait for hair fair set up and stuff like that when I'm just super glued to my desk for a week. This means that that doesn't need to be the case. Has there been a cost analysis yet? Like, I kind of thought that maybe that's what you were doing with the 10-minute increments to see what your bill's going to be like.
The 10-minute increment was mostly just a way for us to try to make sure that everybody had a chance to try it, because we just had a limited amount of capacity we could let in at once. You might have noticed that,
That makes
the
sense.
screen that said we're full was up for quite a while.
Yeah. I hit that, like, once we went running around telling everybody about it, it was sort of like, yep, couldn't get in. Nope. Glad I got some footage before that. And yes, that was another thing I noticed too. I think somebody was saying about settings. I had to change my LOD from 2 because I was bald every time I logged it in to try and get some footage. Is there going to be a change to the saving of chat, or is that just never going to be possible?
So your chat would be there if you were to log out and log back in?
No, about it going to your hard drive, saving chat logs.
Oh,
I don't really
yeah,
care
so
if it's not there because, you know, we lived like that for the first 10 years of SL. We didn't have it on in our IMs when we logged back in. It's just that the chat logs are the most important factor, especially when dealing with customer service kind of stuff. You need the
right, yeah.
history.
That is something that we're planning on fixing in the short term.
Okay, so it will eventually happen because for some people, using the web browser for customer service would just be the dream.
Yeah, it's one of the things that we really want to make sure we get in there.
Also,
It's obviously it's a bit more difficult, so we weren't able to get it for the 10-minute test, but that is something that was really, really high up on our list. Same
my
with
partner.
like preferences. Like, so right now, if you were to log back in, it doesn't have any of your same preferences anymore.
Right. My partner couldn't log in with Brave. Has anybody had that problem?
Yes, the Brave problem we believe we've fixed. And I've also noticed that it sometimes happens with Firestorm. And I think what you're describing, Sassy, is you get that infinite spinner. Like, it just kind of spins and spins.
Yeah. You said Firestorm. I used to do that all the time when I used Firefox.
Sorry, Firefox.
It's so easy to do. My work used to be all in Firefox and my Sassy would be all in Chrome, so it would be like I would constantly do that to you. Okay, yeah, I noticed that when I was logging in, I had to keep changing my load, as I mentioned earlier, and so preferences weren't holding. But okay, so Brave and Firefox might be not as easy to use.
Yeah,
as
if
Chrome.
anybody actually has Brave installed, I
Cool.
actually didn't know about Brave until relatively recently.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I think the reason people, at least from what I've read online, people you really like to use it because it's similar to Chrome but has native like ad blocking installed.
It also doesn't collect your data and all of that sort of stuff. It's a very good private browsing system. It's much better, safer, etc., etc.
Yeah, if you have Brave, give it another try. It should be working now.
I'll try it now. Hold on. Hold on. I mean, I'll try it now.
You're putting your chat logs in a OneDrive? Interesting workaround. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Really switch between devices that often? Every day. Wow, okay. Is like one like a laptop and the other one's like a desktop, or what's the reason for needing to switch to another device? Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I've just got a blue screen on Brave. It's just not doing anything. I pressed the play and it's just not doing it.
Okay, can you send me a screenshot? Well, actually, can you send me a what is it? How do you say it? Gyoza? I'm sorry, I'm probably saying it wrong.
Giazo, I say.
Gyozo, yeah. I found out recently that I'm also apparently pronouncing GIF wrong. It's actually GIF.
I mean, that one is the perennial debate. I'm pretty sure that the creator named it incorrectly, so.
So bizarre, Sassy. Just I guess I could just do this myself. I'm fascinated by this, but I wonder if it's happening on Firefox as well. And you just went to 0.secondlife.com?
Yeah, and it let me log in and all that sort of stuff, so everything was normal. Except
Okay.
once I pressed play, it just went to the pretty blue gradient, and it's still just hanging there doing nothing.
Okay, I'm gonna get this fixed. If anyone has Firefox and they'd like to lend a hand, if you could try going to 0.secondlife.com and seeing if you get the same strange blue screen of death.
By the way,
Bluish
Sntax,
purple
he
screen of death.
ended up using Edge, and Edge worked fine.
Yeah, I actually use Edge.
I find it hard to believe that it's actually Jif, but it would be dependent on what country he's from. Because in the US, isn't it peanut butter? And in Australia, it's a cleaning product. Right. There you go. Cream cleanser, we call it. But yeah, they've expanded. Yeah, so I would think it would be gift too. Yeah, it used to be very funny when you'd hear people saying that they were going to make a Jif sandwich. It also took me years to work out that your peanut butter in America is sweet, where the rest of the world it's not sweet. So I always wondered why people were having peanut butter milkshakes and stuff like that. That was very odd. It's not true. Right. Ours is salty or non-salted, but it tastes like peanuts. Also, we put butter on our bread before we put peanut butter on it. I think American bread has gotten diverse in the last 20 years. Prior to that, you weren't as diverse. Yeah, it's actually categorized as cake, isn't it, in other countries? But see, that's the funny thing. You call it real American bread, and whereas I think of real bread as something somebody makes at home and it's real and or in a fresh bakery, but you're still talking about processed bread in a factory that's adding sugar and can sit on the top of your fridge for like 6 weeks and not turn blue. Yay! That's what I meant, Careless, because when I was in the US, I went to Boston and I ate clam chowder out of a bread bowl, and that bread was delicious. I know. This is such a weird conversation. Poor Panterra's like, where am I going to cut off for YouTube? Where am I going to stop this video? Yeah, that's another one, the bacon thing, because in Australia, a rasher of bacon is the eye of the bacon and then the tail of the bacon, but apparently in America, you only have the tail. Only use the tail as bacon, I should say. You use the other part for something else. Oh, that was, yeah. Mel had that problem too with walking around just using WASD, I think. In the 0 one I'm talking about, though. Yes. I have a quick question about that then, Sarah, seeing that you did all these tests. Sarah, were you the one that can't see PBR? Because you mentioned something about somebody being in white earlier. Are you not seeing PBR at the moment? Okay, so well, that's a different question then. Okay, so if it helps some people to be able to actually see what everybody else is seeing by using Project Zero, then absolutely unlatch that gate. Sarah, you're a yachter, is that right? You're sailing in Second Life a lot? Right. Okay. So Sarah experiences a whole different Second Life than the majority of us. That's why that makes so much sense. But you're not happy with the water either, though, Darkover, are you? I mean, you. Yeah. Right. But yeah. But I think you're more of a both worlds person, and Sarah's a that world person. And again, this is not. I'm not. I'm not being. I think that that's awesome. I think that's one of the big things is that so many of us are not sorry, so many people, not us collectively, are platform dwellers. They didn't really see this huge impact the same way that other people did. Yeah, Darkover's also brought it up about 20 times at the content creators meeting.